Good evening, everyone from different part of the world. I remain Smartstone, your host today, and today we want to have an overview of Nava DAO ecosystem. We want to look at the certain elements and components of a Nava DAO ecosystem. What are these components? How does it affect a participant? How does it influences your involvement? And how can you utilize these elements to produce and have an effective result by being involved in our ecosystem? Nava DAO, like we've discussed in the past, is a decentralized global project offering various income opportunities, various blockchain tools that members can utilize to create unlimited income, to create wealth, while assessing blockchain tools at the same time having fun through our entertainment products and programs. So Nava DAO is a wonderful ecosystem that incorporates several aspects of blockchain technology to provide innovative solutions, financial solutions, and of course provide entertaining solutions also. Now, if we look at if we look at the ecosystem, the word ecosystem, and looking at a definition of ecosystem, it refers to ecosystem as a self-sustaining unit that involves living things trying to interact with their environment interaction. So the key point you can pick from that particular definition has to do with like self-sustaining. Number one, self-sustaining. And then number two, we have interaction. So if you look at the real definition of an ecosystem, relating it with the concept of Nava DAO, you must have already seen the true reflection between these two terminologies and between the ecosystem and Nava DAO as a project. Because we have adopted the DAO principle, which is one of the biggest and reliable principle of decentralization. And this reflects in how a project can be self-sustained and not controlled by a central authority, but rather being sustained through the interactions of every participant, every node that forms the ecosystem. So looking at that same description also, you can deduce that truly Nava DAO has created a real ecosystem in the sense that you can find out that most of our products and our programs are actually interacting with each other, interacting and complementing each other. So that is what our ecosystem is all about. Now, I would like to point out something, I would call this testing the waters. I would love to call it testing the waters. In the essence that you can actually see, you can actually feel so excited already looking at the beta launch of Nava DAO. With our beta launch already, I believe that a lot of people are very excited with what we've launched so far in our ecosystem. Now, imagine how you would feel when we introduce the alpha version of Nava DAO ecosystem. Imagine what we could achieve if we all work together in an ecosystem where everyone truly matters. Everyone can contribute to the development of such ecosystem. And, that is how you should see us. So today we want to look at some of the things, some of the components of Nava DAO ecosystem. And we want to look at how these components, affects every user and participants of our ecosystem. So first, I want to make some points before I go there briefly. Now, sharing my experience as a global leader in the network marketing, blockchain, and Web3 community, I would like to say that Nava DAO has been able to bring back what was once lost. Okay, I'll call it the hope for blockchain adoption. What was once lost, which I call it the hope for blockchain adoption. And the reason I'm saying this is because most times the most biggest thing you need in a project is not a fancy marketing plan, it is not a fancy or a complex product, it is not a fascinating ecosystem with lots of ideas, with lots of visions and lots of roadmaps. But what really matters is to have a project that is ready to uphold its promises, that is ready to fulfill its plans, that is ready to actualize its visions. That is what matters. Now, I want to share my personal experience. In the course of being involved in the Web3 projects, we found ourselves putting our standard so high to the point that you have a lot of people having high expectations of you. Now, as a leader, you find yourself in several situations, in scenarios where you would have tried to promote previous projects in the past to people with lots of expectation, with lots of promises, and then in the long run, those particular expectations are not, achieved. Okay, you can imagine that situation. Or for example, you are involved in the blockchain industry, you are involved in the Web3 community, and then a lot of people around you are having high expectations of you. I know some of us may not know this as a leader, but I want to tell you today that if anyone who is involved in the Web3 projects or blockchain project, definitely you're going to have a lot of people around you having high expectations of you. The reason is because we are in an industry that is supposed to give you unlimited income. We are in an industry that is supposed to guarantee generational wealth. We are in an industry that is supposed to unlock your hidden potentials and give you opportunity to build something sustainable and something that is digital. So by the time you get yourself involved in a blockchain project, you're basically trying to tell the whole world that I'm definitely going to have an unusual kind of results. I'm definitely going to have some unusual kind of lifestyle. So by the time you have these expectations of yourself, and then you have people looking up to you, also having high expectations of you, and then you get yourself involved in a project that does not truly fulfill its promises. You keep selling out fallacies, fantasies, and fairy tales, and then you come after 5 years, you discover that you have nothing really to show. That is one of the biggest challenges, the biggest disadvantage that can actually demoralize any leader. And basically, if we look at the industry today, we have so many leaders who have actually left the project because they've actually been a victim of these failed promises. They've actually been a victim of these unfulfilled plans, unfulfilled visions. But Nava DAO has actually been able to bring something very unique. And what I mean by that is because Nava DAO has proven to fulfill and uphold all its promises. Within just a short period of time, we can see a whole lot of development. We can see a whole lot of innovations coming into play. We can see a whole lot of roadmap programs, roadmap products being actualized. This is something you find it very difficult to find outside there. And I'm not saying this because I'm a member of Nava DAO. I'm saying this because I'm a realist. So now let's get back to it. So this is a very exciting ecosystem, and I'm going to have a dedicated AMA where I'm going to focus on revealing the benefits of being in a Nava DAO ecosystem. Okay, as time goes on, we are going to have an different AMA session. We're going to have AMA session that is focused on revealing the strategy on how to market your programs and how to market Nava DAO products and how to, build your team and several other things. And we also are going to be launching AMA session that is going to reveal the potential benefits of Nava DAO ecosystem, what you're expecting in future, what are our developments, and a whole lot of things. So now, let's come back to the topic. Nava DAO ecosystem. Before we get there, I'd like to give you a brief understanding of what blockchain ecosystem is all about. It is possible you may not have had all the information about it, or it's possible you are just joining this kind of training on blockchain for the first time, and you would love to know. Blockchain ecosystem is a decentralized network encompassing technology, participants, and economic activities that enable blockchain to function. That's including nodes, developers, users, and governance structure. These kind of interconnected components like wallets, smart contracts, bridges, they all work together to facilitate secure, transparent, and automated data sharing and transactions. So from this little illustration, this little definition I've been able to give you, you can understand that blockchain is like an interconnection of technology tools, making use of the blockchain technology to produce programs and products that participants can get involved to generate wealth to interact with blockchain tools and services. So Nava DAO equally is a blockchain ecosystem because we are building our ecosystem using blockchain technology. So the essence of blockchain is to ensure transparency, in business, in Web3 projects. And not just that, the essence of blockchain is to ensure that you have access to different digital tools, for example, NFTs, okay, for example, tokens that you can use to build your business and earn unlimited income. So today we want to look at a Nava DAO ecosystem. What is Nava DAO ecosystem and what the ecosystem is comprised of. So Nava DAO is a global ecosystem that is built on blockchain technology and smart contracts, incorporating a platform that combines infrastructure and marketing solutions into a single whole, providing the entire Web3 community with unique products covering finance, NFT, AI, GameFi, cross-chain solutions, and much more. So some of us that are familiar with blockchain tools, you may have already come across some of these things. For example, the NFT, for example, the GameFi, cross-chain solutions, and of course the AI. So these are some of the components that incorporate the entire Nava DAO ecosystem. The main goal of Nava DAO is actually creating an open and secure platform where decisions are made directly and collectively through open voting, ensuring decentralization and equality for all members of the community. So we've designed the Nava DAO system that incorporates the DAO principle, that it is allowing everyone that is part of the ecosystem to collectively decide and develop the ecosystem through different principles like governance, like shared management, like DAO voting, and different parts of the ecosystem. So Nava DAO is not just an open space for Web3, but it's also a platform for professional development, social interaction, earning money, and it is designed for both beginners and experts in the crypto market and experienced users. So our goal is not only to provide access to cutting-edge technologies, but also create true decentralized ecosystem, breaking away from the stereotypes about DAOs and the challenges centralized ecosystem. And let me give you a little bit example. Over the past years, we've actually seen a whole lot of products from different projects that are alleged to be, DAO principle. But these particular projects have never actually incorporated a system where community members can actually decide or can influence product development, can influence decision making, can influence ecosystem management, but yet it is claimed to be a DAO. So when we are talking about a DAO, every ecosystem that is a DAO is supposed to have the ability where the community members can actually influence the project. Now, but in a general scenario, you will find out that in most projects, it's actually being managed by a few set of people who are privileged to be the admins, few set of people who are privileged to be the leaders or the founders of the project. But whereas the success and the development of the project itself is being determined by the community. So in such a project, you discover that you have little or no contributions to the development of the project, but whereas you yourself, you are responsible for the growth of SHOS project. This is because SHOS project has not actually adopted the DAO, which is the decentralized autonomous organization. So the main feature of Nava DAO is to shift away from centralization towards the DAO. It is very important for you to understand that with the development and widespread of new technologies, Nava products will be improved. We are working constantly to improve our products, to bring out new updates and introduce new innovations. Now, the integration of advanced technologies and functionality will allow us to reach a whole new level and expand possibilities for our ecosystem. So our ecosystem is founded on the technology, which is the DAO technology, incorporating an intersection of blockchain tools like the GameFi, the DeFi, the AI, and several aspects of blockchain technology. So today we are going to be reviewing some of these products, some of these components of Nava DAO ecosystem, and this includes the products, the programs, and services. So we are going to be looking at about three categories, which are the products, okay, the programs, and the services. So please, I want you to pay close attention, because within this AMA, we are going to have a lot of interactive sessions. We are going to have quiz drill. We are going to have giveaways, and we're going to have some quiz. And of course, we are going to have presentation. And all this is going to be based, most of them is going to be based on this particular training. So I want to know if you're hearing me clearly. I'm getting sound feedback continually. So if you're hearing me clearly, I want to get some reactions from you. Okay, I can see. Okay, that is great. Okay. Okay, that's great. I can confirm that I'm very audible. So we want to look at the components of the Nava DAO ecosystem, specifically looking at the overview, which is a review, a summarized review of each element of our ecosystem. Now, I need to remind you that we have several elements of our ecosystem that we are yet to launch. We are actually proposing to launch eventually, and according to the roadmap, which is already available to you. So we plan to launch some of them in future. So today, the review is going to be focused on the existing components that are actually active in our ecosystem. So, and I want to specifically look at about three areas, which are the products, the programs, and the services. So I will give you some outline of some of these products, and I want you to take a note of them. Now, we have various products in our ecosystem. For example, we have one of the products, which is the Navacoin. Navacoin, we have one of the products. We equally have one of the products, which is Nava NFT. Okay. We also have a product, which is the mobile application. These are prospective products. We also have other products like the Nava Energy, like the Community Energy, and several other products that will be available in various parts of our programs, and which you can already see it through the roadmap and the development plan. Then for programs, we have various programs that is part of our ecosystem. We have one of our programs, which is the NavaX. And we have a prospective product, which is the Nava Y as well. Okay. And then for services, we have a very exciting services and platform within the Nava DAO ecosystem. For example, we have the Nava Games, and we have the Nava Easy Buy. We have other services like the AI trading. We have other services that we're expecting also, like the marketplace, and several other services that you can find in our roadmap. So today I want to exclusively review each of these components with a summarized overview of each of the components. So if you are ready and you are excited and you're ready, I want to see you raise your hand up. If you're ready and you're excited to get a review of our, the components of our ecosystem, I want to see you give me some hands up. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. You know, I love to see you being connected. I love to see you being part of the meeting. It is not just about me. It's about you. Because, you know, in Nava DAO, we have a culture of team collaboration. We have a culture of working as a team. We build our ecosystem using collective governance. So I'm always interested to know that you're part of the program and you are actually actively contributing to the program. So I want to look at one of the first program, which is the NavaX. Basically, shall I say categorically, NavaX is a program, but in essence and in reality, it is a product, the main product of our ecosystem. So NavaX is an automated referral program based on Polygon blockchain that is combining binary distribution, referral payments, and gamified NFTs with access to limited allocations of the Nava DAO platform. Okay, so I'm going to explain this as we go further. Take note that this is a review, and we plan to give you more dedicated and deeper approach in subsequent AMAs. So this is a review to give you an overview of our entire ecosystem. So NavaX is not just another referral system program, but rather a tool for creating financial cash flow. Linking decentralized services product through a DAO integrated ecosystem. Now, for example, unlike other projects whose referral programs is known to be the core options project, NavaX is rather a gamified financial product that unlocks access to other Nava DAO services and expands user capabilities, resulting in a financial tool for creating wealth. So if you look at some of other projects, most of the projects we've seen in the past, you find out that the foundation of such projects is mostly based on the referral program. Okay, so the cash flow, the general cash flow, the sustenance of that project is mostly based on the referral program. But no, Nava DAO is not just another referral program project, NavaX, but rather a gamified financial product that generates cash flow using what? Gamified referral-based system, incorporating several aspects of blockchain tools like the GameFi, like the DeFi, to create different income opportunities. So that is what our ecosystem is all about. Now, I'm going to tell you deeper. We're going to have a special AMA dedicated for NavaX, where we'll go into deeper approach to unveil, to reveal the methodologies, the strategy, the everything about NavaX program. So within the NavaX program, and apart from utilizing various income opportunities, active players continually gain access to various products and incentives, such as minting NFT, number one, claiming token allocations, number two, and access to other programs and products of the ecosystem. So being involved in the NavaX gamified program, active players don't just have access to earn various income opportunities, but also to be able to gain access to exclusive products, such as, for example, the minting of NFTs. And these NFTs are soul bank NFTs, which we are going to discuss in future within using a deeper approach. And then other activities is claiming the token allocations. So by being involved in NavaX program, a user unlocks a allocation in the pre-sale of our Navacoin token. These allocations is being decided and determined using your NFT. Okay, so the NFT becomes a tool for gamification of the NavaX program, giving active players of the NavaX program allocations in the pre-sale. So by being actively involved in the NavaX program, you are not just earning income, but you are also able to, be involved in the pre-sale of our token. Now, the process of being involved in this particular pre-sale of a token ensures that you have access to purchase this token at a pre-sale price with a maximum profitability over time, because of the unique mechanism that is integrated into our Navacoin pre-sale smart contract, ensuring that early investors and early participants also have a maximum profitability over time by being actively involved. And not just that, also incentivizing the process, ensuring that users who are actively playing can also have referral rewards using the referral system. So these are some of the benefits you can get when you get involved in the NavaX program. And not just that, when you get actively involved in the NavaX program, you also gain access, to other programs and products of the system through the NFT. The NFT is a very unique feature, a very unique product and service in our ecosystem that incorporates the entire Nava DAO ecosystem, offering several benefits like boost in other programs, giving you more access in other programs. So with the NFT combined together with your token, you are having what we call a token for payments. You're having an access key and, of course, a boost in other programs. So these are some of the benefits you can get. So in summary, I would say that NavaX is a gamified product that allows participants to generate financial flows and earn money through effective referral programs. This is what it is all about. It's as simple as that. So with Nava DAO, you can gain access to our ecosystem and be able to utilize all the blockchain tools available to create different avenues of wealth. So it is a very unique model, very different, and I believe that as you get to know more about NavaX program, you will love to get involved in short marketing plan. Now, I want to also look at one of the products, and this product complements and enhances your involvement in the NavaX program, which is Navacoin. Now, what is Navacoin? Navacoin is a unique utility token, or what we would love to call a governance token of the Nava DAO ecosystem. Navacoin is a unique utility token that offers various usages and utilities within the Nava DAO ecosystem, allowing users to be involved in the Nava DAO ecosystem through various services like governance, management, and several other aspects of our ecosystem. Now, this particular unique token has been designed to offer various utilities across our programs, across our products. And by being actively involved in marketing our program like the NavaX, users will gain access to purchase these tokens at a very reduced price. And so by earning this token, you have access to several other aspects of our ecosystem and, of course, maximum profitability during our listing. We've launched the Nava token pre-sale in such a unique way where each week the token price grows every week by 10%, ensuring maximum profitability for what early investors. So Navacoin is a very unique product of our ecosystem that has a lot of future usabilities that is going to be disclosed over time. Now we're going to have a very special AMA session where we go into deeper approach about Navacoin, explaining in detail certain aspects of Navacoin, such as the vesting and explaining several things like the staking programs, the yield farming, and other aspects of utility of the Navacoin. So now, Navacoin is also a payment token within the Nava DAO ecosystem. In the early aspects of our ecosystem, which is the beta launch, we are going to be adopting other stable coins, like for example the DAI. But in future, Navacoin will become the payment token within our ecosystem, thereby creating utility for Navacoin itself within the ecosystem, and a whole lot of other development plans that is laid out for Nava token, including developments like the Nava Games system and several other utilities that has already been designed to ensure that a Navacoin grows progressively. And not just that, within the Navacoin system, we've developed several mechanisms that is initiated to sustain the growth of Navacoin, including bonding mechanisms and several other deflationary mechanisms that has been installed in the Navacoin. So with this unique model and with this beautiful team behind Nava token, and of course a very inspirational community, Nava token has a whole lot of potentials in the cryptocurrency industry. And in future, we will reveal more about this Nava coin. Now let's look at something else, the Nava NFTs. When we talk of NFT, I know a lot of people are very familiar with the NFT marketplace, the minting of NFTs, where you have to mint NFT and then you can sell and you can trade them on marketplace like a decentralized open source marketplace. Of course, that's a very beautiful idea. But then, what stops you from being more innovative than just having an NFT where you think you can actually sell to make profit? But with Nava NFTs, we've decided to do something different because our ecosystem is very unique. We've created something that is very unique, something that incorporates and fully integrates into our ecosystem. For example, in previous models of NFT marketing system, you will find out that some of these NFTs will enter the market with a lot of potentials, with a lot of promises of value, unlimited value, exponential growth over time. But in the long run, some of these visions, some of these prospects is not far-fetched. And at the end of the day, it's just another token in your wallet with no value, no real utility, no use cases, and there's nothing you can do. And so we've looked at it and said, no, we have to create something unique. And that's why we launched the Nava NFTs. And what is Nava NFT? You know, the NavaX program is the foundation that produces the Nava NFT. So NavaX program provides access to Nava NFTs, through which users can receive additional privilege in programs, access to games, and Nava DAO. So the key access provided by Nava NFT is participation in the Navacoin token sale. Now, before I explain further, I want to let you know that Nava NFTs are soul bound. What it means is that these NFTs are not transferable, but actually are being tied to your account, ensuring maximum security in tracking and keeping record of all the activities, all the progress of your activities within the Nava DAO ecosystem, most especially the NavaX program. So now, the main access that the Nava NFT gives you, apart from storing all your data in the NavaX program, is the participation in the token sale. Now, gamification and NFTs as part of the X program. So these particular NFTs grant you access to be able to purchase our token, which is the Navacoin sales, which is the more NFTs, the higher the level of your NFT you have, the higher tokens allocations you can purchase in our ecosystem. So this means that every activation and every reinvestment that you perform in the NavaX program provides more opportunity for you to have a higher level NFT, which in turn also ensures that you have a larger allocation of tokens that you can purchase. So the process of acquiring Navacoin token is very limited and is tied to minting NFT through the NavaX program. So by being an active player of the NavaX program, you're not just earning income, but you're also improving your allocation and gaining more allocation of the Nava token sales, which is very limited. Basically, in summary, the Nava NFT, which is the soul bound NFT, is actually automatically created when you purchase a level. When you purchase a level in the NavaX program. Secondly, when you reinvest. Thirdly, when you upgrade. Okay, now when you have these NFTs, it doesn't just offer you opportunity to have allocation, but also offers you discount and gives exclusive access to other ecosystem products. For example, what are these access? We're looking at access to our gamified system, which is the Nava Games Hub. So when you get access, the higher the NFT level you have that is minted through the NavaX program, the higher the discounts you're going to get and the higher the access you're going to get in other products of our ecosystem. For example, you're going to gain access, you're going to get boost, and you're going to get discount in the Nava Games, which we are going to discuss shortly. So because of our time, we're not going to go deep into these illustrations, but we have a dedicated program where we'll talk on each of these topics and create more elaborative explanations where you can get more insights into our ecosystem. So these soul-bound NFTs are very unique. They also provide personalization and security by preventing the transfer of rights between users. So it is very unique to each person and provides maximum security. Now let's look at another component of our ecosystem. This time around, we want to look at one service of our ecosystem, which is the Nava Buy. Now let's look at one of the components of the Nava DAO ecosystem. We are looking at the Nava Easy Buy, sorry. Now, what is Nava Easy Buy? Nava Easy Buy is a multi-chain exchange with $1 billion potential, providing a combination of the liquidity of the entire DeFi market in one single interface. I would love to repeat that. Maybe someone needs to hear it 2 times. Nava Easy Buy is a multi-chain exchange with $1 billion potential, providing a combination of an entire liquidity of the DeFi market in a single interface. This is a very unique platform. This is a very wonderful product and service from Nava DAO ecosystem, in the essence that a Nava DAO Easy Buy, as a unique cross-chain exchange, provides and ensures that a seamless asset exchange within and between blockchains. What does it mean again? I would love to repeat that again because I am so excited about this part, and I think you should be excited about it too. Nava DAO as a cross-chain exchange offers what simplest asset exchange within and between blockchains. Not just ensuring that you can trade assets from different blockchain networks, for example, from Solana blockchain to Polygon blockchain, but also ensuring that you are transacting at the base rate and, of course, with the lowest fees at that moment. So this is a very unique product and service from our ecosystem that gains access from various unified DeFi and DEX aggregators and bridges. By getting access to these aggregators provides a cross-bridge liquidity that spans across different decentralized exchanges. For example, you have Uniswap, we have TushiSwap, we have a whole lot of them. Combining this liquidity together into a different interface that users can trade using what we call advanced routing algorithms. So the main principle in our cross-chain exchange is not just allowing users to trade, but also using the advanced routing and algorithms to ensure that while you are trading, you're actually trading at the base rate and for the base fees across multiple exchanges. So this is an introduction of an AI technology with advanced algorithms, smart routing to provide the base and seamless asset trading within a single interface. So this is a very wonderful product from our ecosystem. And I can boldly say, personally, I can boldly say that, Nava Easy Buy posts as the best solution for global cross-chain trading experience. I would say that again, that Nava DAO Easy Buy posts as the best global solution of asset trading in terms of cross-chain trading experience globally. That is very spectacular, and I think a lot of people need to know what we have to offer. We are having something very unique, something very cool, and something very seamless in nature. So with Nava Easy Buy, it means you don't need to go create a different wallet. For example, in the traditional trading world, if you want to trade on different blockchain, you would have to create a different wallet with a different network, and then you have to switch to each of those networks each time you want to do a transaction. Or for example, when you're using a wallet like a MetaMask, you would have to switch to a certain network before you do transaction. But with Nava Easy Buy, you could actually initiate any transaction from any blockchain network to another blockchain network at the base rate and for the base fees, with the base fees. So it is a very exciting part of our ecosystem. Because of our time, I'm going to rush up a little bit. We will be going to a very special part of our Nava ecosystem, which is the one of the service. It's a very big service, and I call it a service platform because it incorporates products, it incorporates programs, and also it incorporates services. I call it the Nava Games. Okay, so what is Nava Games? So Nava Games is a collection of casual and mini games integrated directly into the DAO platform Now, the game uses a play-to-earn model where entertainment is combined with the opportunity to earn money, enhancing overall engagement and the value of the ecosystem. As players are motivated to increase their earnings by completing daily tasks such as inviting friends, improving the game performance, and engaging in what referral-based system. So Nava Games is a very unique product or service from the Nava DAO ecosystem that incorporates several blockchain tools, including the GameFi, including DeFi and AI, incorporated and also intersected with referral-based programs to produce a very innovative platforms where you can earn money while being entertained. So this is a very useful function for in our blockchain. And the most beautiful part of it is that this particular game is integrated into your personal accounts where you can actually engage in these games without leaving the Nava DAO platforms. Now, in these games, we have a whole lot of activities which we are going to discuss in depth in future. But we have things like in-game currency in the Nava game system. These tokens, such as the Nava Energy, is being used in the system, and they can be purchased with the Navacoin in future, or you can actually earn this token through activities in the gaming system itself. Now, from the beginning, the Nava game system may likely use DAI, but in future, our gaming system is going to be using our own token, which is the Navacoin token. Now, another fantastic thing about our Nava game system is that the revenues or remunerations from games can actually be reinvested into Nava DAO products. For example, you can actually use it to purchase levels in NavaX. You can actually participate in token sales, or you can use it to acquire NFTs. What does it mean for you? This is a very great marketing strategy for you to use to promote your other programs on NavaX, for example, NavaX. How is this important? For example, let me give you an idea. Okay, fine. Let me give you an idea. You know, for you to be able to market your programs, you have to be able to accommodate different people, and you definitely know you're going to meet different set of people. Some of these people are going to be more fascinated in network marketing programs. Some of them are going to be more fascinated about passive income. Some of them are going to be more interested in, investment. Some of them are going to be interested in gaming because they're already used to gaming. So you're going to meet different types of people who would have different interests. You're going to meet people who have interest in trading. You're going to meet people who want to leverage on passive income. So what does it mean for you, and how can you utilize this particular factor, this particular experience in Nava Games to promote your NavaX program? For example, now, a user or a prospect who is getting involved in the Nava DAO ecosystem may not necessarily need to promote the NavaX to be able to, engage actively in the NavaX. What do I mean by that? You're going to meet people who may not have the resources to, promote NavaX program, or may not want to be involved in NavaX from the onset. But with the advent of the Nava Games, you're going to have people who are going to participate in games, and through these games, they're going to, earn this game currency like the Nava Energy, in short form NE. And with this Nava Energy, they could utilize it in other aspects of the ecosystem, meaning that the Nava Energy is not just another in-game currency without value, but actually an in-game currency that has a real value that can be used to, interact in the ecosystem. For example, you can use it to purchase, activities and levels in the NavaX program. It can also be used to, acquire NFTs. And of course, it can be used in token sales, in purchase and token sales. So this is the concept within the Nava game system. It is very beautiful. It's very exciting. Let me give you a little bit story because of our time. So some years ago, I've been a very active person in the blockchain, the EVM virtual city. I don't know if you know about it. We're looking at the metaverse, the gaming system, the digital gaming system that is on a blockchain system. For example, the EVM virtual cities. I've been an active player, and I've also been a very active player in the role play games. For example, the MMORPG games. We call it the MMORPG games, which is the the multimedia, massively online role-play games. I've been a very active player in the past, and I can remember a certain time some years ago that I had to play one game for 3 years to be able to earn $4,000. It took me 3 years, and I was able to monetize that game, and I withdrew that amount of money, and I felt like, wow, this is very wonderful. I've achieved a lot of things. But now, with the advent of Nava DAO, Nava Games, I've come to realize that you could actually achieve what I achieved in 3 years just in few days, in few weeks, or few months. So Nava DAO, Nava Game is a very exciting system that is bringing the innovations that we felt were so complex in the past, but trying to rebrand them into something that is very simple, easy to access, and affordable for everyone. So I think this is a very exciting part. So in terms of the Nava Game system, we have two major categories. Before I tell you that, I want to give you some of the components of the Nava Game system. The major component of the Nava Game system is the GameFi. And secondly, the next one is DeFi. And of course, we have AI trading, AI agents, and referral-based program. Now, when we talk of GameFi, GameFi is an intersection of gaming and decentralized finance, adopting certain play-to-earn principles using blockchain tools to create gaming experience that involves reward for users that participate in short games. And I'm not going to talk more about this because we have an exciting thing coming over. And I wouldn't want to give you the tip on what is coming from this particular topic, but I would love to see who is following and who can actually break through this particular process. So these are the main components of the Nava DAO, Nava Game ecosystem. So this component has a lot of functions and how it utilizes into the ecosystem. In the next AMA, we are going to focus on Nava Games. We are going to focus on Nava Games, and more specifically about 2 AMA is going to be like for this, because it's a very big platform and we need to introduce different things because we have a whole lot of information for you about Nava Games. We have interesting games for you and we are launching some of them very, very soon. Before that, I told you earlier that Nava Games is categorized into 2 forms, two groups. The first one is the game hub, and the second one is the lottery system. So one of the category of the Nava Game is what we call the game hub and the lottery system. Okay, I would love to start with the lottery system. Okay, or perhaps I'll start with the game hub. I believe a lot of people would want to understand the prospects that we have for future. Now, the game hub is actually a full-fledged scalable node, which is the hub gaming system with GameFi products within the Nava ecosystem. So Nava Game Hub includes a gaming system with an internal currency that users can engage and earn in-game currency, which can actually be used to rank them according to leadership board. And what this means is that in the Nava game system, this is going to be a complex model that incorporates different GameFi mechanisms where users are going to compete, for example, using gaming models like the PE, the PVE, and the PVP. What does the PVE mean represents? The PVE means the gaming system where you're going to be playing against a system, for example, a central body, while the PVP is a gaming system where you're going to be playing against another player. For example, it's just like role-play games. Okay, in the online role-play games, you have one player competing with other players for game rewards. So now the Nava Game Hub is going to be using similar method, but with a scalable factor. What does this scalable mean? Let me introduce you to something. I know most of us are used to, we are new to the gaming systems that we've adopted, which is the lottery system. But within the Game Hub, we are going to have a scalable factor. What does this mean? It means that it provides opportunity for the introduction of metaverse. Hello, are you following? So within the Nava DAO Game Hub, there is also a potential availability where we can introduce the metaverse if there is a need for that. So that is why what is different from the Nava Game Hub and the lottery system. Whereas the lottery system is a decentralized gamified system on Nava NFT, where users can play and win valuable prizes. available through NFT access. Now, Nava DAO lottery systems truly reveals the true value of digital assets. This is where you're going to be realizing the true value of the Nava NFTs which you minted through the NavaX programs. Now, the product is designed to ensure reliability, transparency, and maximum benefit for every member. Now, I would love to give you some highlights of some of the benefits of the Nava lottery system. One of them is that the possibility of you earning money easily through DAI. So with the Nava lottery system, participants can actually earn cash rewards in form of DAI. And in future, we are going to introduce our coin. So you could be remunerating this income in our token. Another one is, it is very easy to participate and relatively high probability of winning. This gaming system have been developed in such a way that it is highly probable of you winning, because we've developed it using simple mechanism that ensures what high probability of winning, and also high probability of you gaining a large number of tickets, which actually in real sense, we should promote your ability to win. So now with Nava lottery system, it is also very easy to draw more attention to your Nava DAO and increase the value of NFT with increased demand, which in turn creates utility for the NavaX program. And lastly, it is decentralized, meaning that almost all mechanisms is being executed in smart contracts, which influences the reliability and transparency of our project. So it's a very unique part of our program that you should get involved, because this is not just going to give you income opportunity, but it's also going to help to promote and other products of the ecosystem. Because of our time, I'm going to round up on the product here, because we are supposed to give you an overview, and in our subsequent NME, we'll spend more time to review some of the deep illustrations and deep illustrations on each of the products or programs. And these illustrations sometimes is going to come with slides and presentations, which is going to be more easier for people with different languages to adapt to short training. So meanwhile, I'm going to move to the next session, which is the question and giveaway session. So I think some people should be very excited. Okay, fine. Because of our time, there's no time to waste. I'm going to be giving giveaway to about 3 people today, and I want to know those that are following our programs and those that are very excited about our programs. And so I'm going to be asking some questions, and if you can get the answer, you are going to win $10 just by answering a question. So it's a very wonderful project. It's a culture. We have a culture of incentivizing every activity, and it's just a culture we are not going to stop doing. So I want to ask some questions. Firstly, question number 1. If you have an answer to this question, you have to quickly raise your hand up to stop people from going to go and use Google or trying to cheat. I'm not going to give you so many seconds, maybe just 10 seconds to answer the question, and I will not repeat questions. Number 1. GameFi is a fusion of how many elements, and what are these elements? By the count of 10, I'm going to answer the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. White Charcoal, you have to answer the question directly in the group. You don't have to say it. I want you to answer it. 9, I will try to give opportunity to one person. So White Charcoal, if you're on, you can still grab this opportunity. Samsonola, you're on, you can answer.
NFT.
I'm listening. Samsonola, I'm listening.
Navacoin.
That's wrong. That is wrong. Actually, I wouldn't want you to keep continuing. That's wrong. GameFi is a fusion of how many elements? Generally, I'm talking about GameFi generally, not just Nava DAO, because Nava DAO using GameFi doesn't change the principle of GameFi, but only adopts the principle of GameFi. So if someone else can give an answer, I'm going to call off that answer because I think some people are going to be doing Google. Okay, fine. That question is off. GameFi is a fusion of 3 elements, and the elements are namely blockchain technology, decentralized finance, and gaming. Hello, did someone get it? GameFi is a combination of blockchain technology, decentralized finance, and gaming. So that's what GameFi is all about. Okay, here's the next question. Who can tell me the slogan of... You have to answer this question within 15 seconds. 15 seconds only. Who can tell me the slogan of Nava DAO? The slogan of Nava DAO. I'm expecting everyone to raise their hand up. Does anyone have an answer? Because our time, we need to kill time, please. We need to round up. I've written something there. Type the answer if you can't talk. What is the slogan of Nava DAO? Okay. Next question. The slogan of Nava DAO is clearly visible in all our documents. You can see it every document, and I'm wondering why a lot of people are finding it difficult to answer that. But since I've already reviewed where you can find it, I would not want to give you opportunity. The answer is human freedom life. The next question, what model does Navacoin pre-sale uses? Okay, that question is going to be gone. If you know the answer, if you're having a problem with your microphone, you can drop it on chat. I'm going to pick the first person that answers correctly. Okay, next question. I'm not going to wait. Next question. Looking at Nava DAO ecosystem, name 2 products and services of Nava DAO ecosystem. Okay, Mr. Karim. Oh, no, the answer is wrong. Mr. Karim said 12 blocks for 12 weeks. The answer to that question is dynamic pricing model. Dynamic pricing model. Navacoin adopts what we call dynamic pricing model in terms of the pre-sale. These are very important. You can see why AMAs like this are very important, because you can learn little things which should be very essential when you're promoting your business, when you're engaging seminars, you're organizing seminars. So Nava token sales adopt what we call dynamic pricing model. Okay, fine. Name 2 products and services of Nava DAO ecosystem. The first person to give will win. The first person to win will give. So far, nobody has won, and this is why we've delayed. NavaX, Nava Y. NFT program. Sorry to say this, but you don't have it completely accurate. Karim, you don't have it completely accurate. An example of Nava products is our Nava NFT, Navacoin, and even NavaX. An example of a Nava service, a platform service, a service platform, is a Nava Easy Buy. Okay, did you get it here? No. The Nava Easy Buy. Okay, you added one of them, which is the Nava Dex, which is a future service. But we have the Nava Easy Buy, which you did not mention. So I think you are partly correct. You didn't get all the answers. Okay, I think I'm going to make the questions more simpler. But these are very simple questions. I'm going to ask the last question, or maybe two last questions before I'll run it off. Okay. I should look for more simple. Name one gaming model of Nava Games. Name one gaming models adopted in Nava Games. Please, I would love to hear you speak. I prefer you speaking than writing. Name one gaming model of Nava Games. What model is adopted in Nava Games?
Lucky 5.
No, that is just a game. That is just a game in Nava Games. But the model that is adopted. Okay, another one. I can see people writing. Okay, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Keep trying. I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing your comments. Keep trying. When you're doing a quiz, you have to keep giving several answers to get it. Keep trying. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, one of the gaming models in the adopted in Nava Games is called Play to Earn, P2E. That is one of the gaming models. There's several other models that is adopted. One of them also is called PVP. I explained it during our MA a few minutes ago. Another one is called PVE. The PVE and PVP are different gaming models. We also have the P2E, Play to Earn. These are different models adopted in Nava Games. I believe you're learning something today. Lastly, what is the game currency of the Nava Gaming Hub? What is the game currency? Okay, congratulations. White Co, you finally won. Nava Energy. No, sorry, you are wrong. You are wrong. What is the game currency? What is the game currency of the Nava Gaming Hub? What is the game currency of the Nava Gaming Hub? You are wrong. I see we really need to pay more attention. I believe that in our next AMA, I'll go deeper, but I mentioned it during our AMA. Maybe you were not live then. And I mentioned it. No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Samson Ola. That's not correct. You are wrong. That's not correct. The answer is called Community Energy, CE. The Community Energy, it is the game currency of the Nava Gaming Hub, and this particular currency is going to be earned based on the activities that you initiate in the Nava Gaming Hub. Activities could involve your involvement in game, inviting other users, and playing the games. Now, the amount of community energy you accumulate is going to determine your position in the leadership board. Now, in the leadership board, winners are going to be determined using a certain rank in the leadership board. For example, the team might decide to use 100. For example, this number is subjected to change. What it means, if the team decides to use the first 10 people in the leadership board, it means that the first 10 people with the highest amount of community energy are winners of that particular season, because it's going to be seasonal. So that is the correct answer. Okay, I still want someone to win. I still want someone. In simple terms, how can you describe NavaX, and what kind of tool is a NavaX program? In simple terms, how can you describe NavaX, and what tools is NavaX? No, you're wrong. NavaX only intersects with DeFi through GameFi. If you are explaining a NavaX program to another person, how can you differentiate NavaX? Is it just a referral program as what is seen in other projects? And how can you differentiate NavaX from other programs, other referral programs?
We can differentiate NavaX from other programs in the sense that even without referring, you can earn based on spillover, and also when 2 or 3 person that you refer another person, you earn from their own too.
Okay, let me give you a clue. NavaX is a tool. So what kind of tool is it? NavaX is a tool. What kind of tool is it? Sorry, we might have to take longer time in this AMA, but I've just discovered that this is necessary because we need to get acquainted with the ecosystem. NavaX is a tool. So what kind of tool is it? There are 2 models that is in NavaX. I'm going to give you the answer. I've been asking very simple questions so far. NavaX is not just a referral-based program, unlike other projects of other ecosystem and other projects, but NavaX is a tool for creating financial cash flow, and not just a referral-based program, but grants access to other products of the Nava DAO ecosystem. That is what makes NavaX different from all other referral programs. So I think we have a lot. These are things that I've actually explained. Okay, let me ask a simple question. What is NavaX program? Who can describe what is NavaX program? The first person to describe. I'm asking questions based on what. If you are ready to talk, just raise your hand up. I'm going to give you room to talk. Okay, finally, the last question I'm going to ask today, even if no one answers the question, I'm going to call it a day. What are the benefits of Nava NFT in our ecosystem? Name at least 2 benefits or 1 benefit of Nava NFT. Name at least 1 benefit or 2 benefits of Nava NFT. You have to be more specific, Mr. Sampson. You are just saying to join the DeFi game. How do you join the DeFi to join the Lucky 5 game? How does the NFT grant you? You have to specify. Hello? Are we saying that nobody's gonna earn any money from this life? I really want someone to earn money from this life. Okay, I'm seeing White Coat. What did you say? Can you repeat what you said? Okay, last question for today. I'm very serious. This is gonna be last because I'm closing by 6:30. Sorry, 4:30 p.m. Name at least 1 mechanism that is embedded into Navacoin smart contracts. Name at least 1 growth mechanism that is embedded into Navacoin smart contracts. Born what? Can you be more specific? Born what? We need people to learn from it. When you say born, is that White Co? Please. Okay, bond mechanism. Congratulations, you've got it. I still want to give another room for another person. White Co, you've qualified for 10 DAI today. I'm going to screenshot your profile to protect the fact that we want to know who actually won. So after this meeting, you are to contact the community manager for the receipt of your gift. I want to give room for another person. 2 more questions. Name at least 1 other mechanism that is embedded in Navacoin smart contract, only one person can win. One other mechanism that is embedded in Navacoin smart contract, growth mechanism. That's second to the last question. Nope. I was expecting you to say, Samson Ola, I was expecting you to say deflationary mechanism. Deflationary mechanism. The last question for today. This is the last question for today. Who can tell me the founder of DeFi? Nava DAO has adopted GameFi as one of its protocols in the gaming system. Who can tell me when DeFi was first founded and the founder of DeFi? Oh, somebody said Smartstone. This is wonderful. I would love to be the founder of DeFi. This is wonderful. I think if I had a way of reacting with some laughing emoji, I would actually do that. It doesn't matter if it's professional or not. Somebody said, I am actually the founder of DeFi. That is great. Well, I love you for that. Thank you so much. Okay, the founder of DeFi is actually Andrew Cronje. He actually founded DeFi in 2020. I think that should be September, around September 10 or thereabout. He actually founded the DeFi with the launch of something called Yon Finance, the first yield farming that was launched, Yon Finance, that was launched some years ago, 2020, and his name is Andrew Cronje. He launched it. That was the first time we had the introduction of DeFi. So that is the end of our question today. We have one person winning 10 DAI and is to contact the community manager for the prize. Before we close, I would love to give you something to prepare for. A very exciting prize is going to be announced next week. Now, while I was explaining, I mentioned some things which has to do with how Nava DAO ecosystem is built, and one of those things is the transparency of the system. I can truly say, based on my experience in the blockchain space, that Nava DAO has actually upheld the fulfillment, has actually upheld the expectations of what we call Nakamoto coefficient. This is one of the biggest review, a biggest strategy that regulates blockchain projects and determines the relevancy and the a project rating in the global blockchain industry. So today I want to give you an assignment for you to have a presentation to give me in our next AMA, and the best person to present the best presentation is going to win a big prize on that day. And the question is, how does Nakamoto coefficient, what is Nakamoto coefficient? Explain and define what is Nakamoto coefficient and how it approves and influences Nava DAO projects. I might type this question out for people to see it so that people from different countries can benefit. So in our next AMA, we're going to start with this, and we're going to have like up to 5 people coming on screen or coming with your voice to explain what is Nakamoto's coefficient and how that particular principle approves Nava DAO ecosystem, how it influences Nava DAO ecosystem. So thank you so much for being part of this AMA. If anybody has a question, I'm going to give room to just one person to answer, maybe ask a question or to drop a comment. So if you have a question, please. A question, if you have a question. Okay, I can see someone, Karim. Okay, you're on, Karim.
Hello, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. I love your energy today.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to participate in the chat. So my question to you will be, what's your personal long-term view on the plans considering the ecosystem of the project? Just your personal opinion. What's your personal long-term view on the ecosystem of Nava DAO?
Okay, what is my personal opinion of the long-term visions and plan of the Nava DAO system? Well, that's a very great question. I think I'm in our previous AMA, I started out by outlining some of the things I have witnessed. I personally reviewed the Nava DAO ecosystem. I personally did an extensive review of different products on different programs, both the ones that are available and the ones that we are expecting. Sincerely, without sentiments, I would love to say that I'm actually thrilled with Nava DAO ecosystem. Okay, yesterday I was having a conversation with some of the team members, and I actually said something that I was so fascinated with the amount of in-depth information that is already available, because I'm one of those persons that believe so much in the power of knowledge. The reason,
Yes.
one of the tools of great success is the power. The kind of information you have can change everything. You can have the right resources, but without the right knowledge, you find yourself failing in life. But when you have
True.
the right knowledge, you have the right solutions, you can achieve anything. So yesterday, I told one of the team members that I was so fascinated because I went to go through the channel. I went through a Nava DAO channel to try to dissect across all the information that have been posted in the past, like information that was posted like 3 months ago, 2 months ago. So I was reading them one by one, one by one. I was going through them using my technical knowledge as a blockchain developer, a blockchain analyst. So I was so thrilled, and I couldn't help but just go and drop in the chat. I was fascinated because I know the plans, the prospects of something that is going to evolve into a great development. So looking at the development plan of Nava DAO, the interaction, I started this meeting by explaining what an ecosystem is, that where, certain living organisms in an ecology self-sustain themselves by interacting with other elements of the environment. So I looked at how Nava DAO has been able to create all the products and programs in such a way that they uniquely interact with each other. That is one of the biggest assets we have in Nava DAO. The problem is, I've seen a whole lot of good projects with good intentions fall. I've seen a lot of projects, they had good intentions, but they failed because they did not create a system that approves the other products. They did not create a system that complements each other. And because a product in the ecosystem was not created in such a way that it will add value to the next product. And so when the next product is launched, it loses value because there was no underlying plans. So, but Nava DAO has created this ecosystem with products and programs that always feels like they were created at the same time. But whereas they were not created at the same time, they were created over time, but they've actually complemented each other in such a very unique model. That is all what it takes to succeed. So I think we have a whole lot, we have a big future, we have a bright future. I know a lot of people are still looking at Nava DAO. They are rating Nava DAO based on the community or the size of the community. They're trying to rate Nava DAO with projects that have had thousands of users and millions of users. And that is why people are not really seeing the goal in Nava DAO. People are actually blind because there's something very unique here. And I would love everyone to get involved.
Yeah, and also communities don't get built in a day and a night. It takes time to build communities. No project is born with millions of users. And the pioneers and the ones that starts early are going to be the biggest beneficiaries, the ones that, yeah. Thank you for the answer. I appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome. Please, if you have any other questions, please write it down, send it to me directly. I'm going to entertain to that. We've actually taken this AMA longer than necessary. I actually planned to run this AMA 40 minutes, but due to sometimes I think a lot of quick questions and then extended explanations, which was very necessary, we've actually taken more time. So thank you so much for being part of today's AMA. Stay tuned for our next AMA on next week. We will review the topic to you soon, and I'm sure you are going to be excited to be part of that AMA because it's going to fuel you up and inspire you and provide you with the right tools to build your business and become a global success story in the Nava DAO ecosystem. Thank you so much. I remain Smartstone. See you next time.